Greetings. This is Payman, your host for the Leaders with a Heart podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, my good friend Klaas. Klaas is, I will let him introduce himself, but he's doing some amazing things. He's helping people get clarity on what they want and from where they are right now to where they want to be. So, Klaas, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Good to be here. Um, yeah, man. Let's get the show going.
All right. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your story? What's your background? What's your story?
What's my story? Well, I was born in the Netherlands, traveled all over the world, studied in the Netherlands and the US. Then at a certain point, decided to go to Spain for love. Got dumped hard, and then finally find my wife, and we live here now. Been an entrepreneur my whole life. Done various things, failed often, and now I am working on become the me I want to be, and enjoying it.
Cool, awesome. Sounds like you had quite an interesting life. Tell us what's your business right now. What are you focused on?
How do you mean?
What do you do? What's your business?
Well, I'm a personal success coach, and I focus on helping highly driven entrepreneurs win in life and succeed at home.
Okay. And when you talk about winning in life, what specific area are you focusing on?
I've focused specifically on productivity. And that means productivity in both just making sure that you achieve what you want to achieve without losing that focus on what's most important, which is our life, our home, right? Our partner, our kids, our family, our health. Very important.
Sure.
Those are the things I focus on with my clients.
Cool, awesome. How long have you been doing that?
Well, now it's become the me I want to be about a year, and I've done it before that as become a fearless father for 2 years. So yeah, about 3 years now.
Nice. What's a part of this business that you enjoy the most personally?
Seeing my clients grow faster and better than they expect when they come and join, and see them. So I make an impact in their lives and their families' lives, and then they make an impact in their clients' lives at the same time. So we build in that ripple effect. That's the most exciting thing by far.
So do you have like a process, a system? How for example, when someone comes into your world, into your business, what do you get them to do to go from point A to point B?
Well, we start with what I call my master class, which is a productivity system. So we completely focus on making sure that they know exactly what it is that they want out of life, right? Therefore, become the me I want to be, and not what the government wants me to be, or what my parents wanted me to be, or society wants me to be, or my teacher told me I should be, right? No, what I want to be. So we dive really deep into that, and then we go down. So I actually had a really cool live interview on my show. I had Alex Sharfin as a guest, and I fully agree with him when he said one of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs have is that they know where they want to go. They have that ultimate vision, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be phenomenal and fantastic and blah, blah, blah. And then all they know is where they at right now. And then they just work like mad trying to get to that point, and they burn out. It's just because there's nothing in between where they should look at. There's no 5-year plan. I don't do 5-year plans, but just, as an example, but there's no 1-year plan. There's no 90-day plan. There's no month plan. There's no week plan. There's only just working during the day. And I help them first build out the system where they plan all of that stuff out. So then they know exactly like, okay, I'm doing this today because I know that if I do this today, then I know that by the end of the week, I'm going to be here. And therefore, I'm going to be, by the end of the month, I'm going to be here. And by the end of the quarter, I'm going to be there. By the end of the year, I'm going to be here. And that will get me towards that ultimate vision that I have set out for myself, making sure that, I achieve all the things that I want to achieve.
Yeah, just like a house is built, you know, one brick at a time, same as a business, one day at a time, one step at a time. That's beautiful.
Exactly.
Um, so when someone, how long does it take, for example, when someone starts with you, is there like, how long does it take them to start seeing some first results when they join your program?
It all depends. That all depends on where they are. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have people that joined me and within a week they had results just because now there's structure. So all of a sudden that overwhelm of, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. Right? Now all of a sudden that's just gone because it's like, okay, I gotta do this, this, and this today.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Um, I had a client of mine had results in 3 weeks because he wanted to launch and he didn't launch. And I told him, send out that message. He didn't send out that message. And then the next day I called him and I said, look, send that message. No, I'm helping my wife doing this and this and this. I said, look, you're telling me you couldn't send out that message in between while the turkey's cooking, you can quickly send that message. And he was procrastinating. And just by me, and I don't know if I can say that, but with him, I'd say like, look, don't make me come over there and put my foot up, somewhere dark. And it helped. He launched. He made about $10,000.
Wow. So
That's
what
not
was
because.
go
So
ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
you go.
So okay, so what was holding him back?
Fear.
Fear of what?
What's holding anything back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either we're always afraid. We're either afraid of failing. So him launching that message and then getting crickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which happens all the time,
Sure.
or fear of success.
That's it.
Meaning he
Mm-hmm.
shares that message and now all of a sudden there's like hundreds of people posting, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And now all of a sudden a lot of people are going to get it. Now you have to deliver. That's scary too, right? So both are real if you believe them to be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also fear of change because a lot of people they kind of afraid of change. They don't want to, even though they say that they embrace change, but a lot of people are deep down afraid of change as well. That's for
True.
sure.
True.
Uh, And in your business, looking at your business, what has been so far the biggest challenge that you faced so far?
What's been the biggest challenge? Getting heard, making sure that a lot of people know who I am and know what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got a big following now on my podcast, for example. I just actually had a call with my podcast manager today, and we spoke
Nice.
and we looked where we're at. And he's like, okay, we're looking good. And then I started to realize, like, wait a minute, I'm reaching that audience. There is nothing, not in the intro or the outro, that has anything to do except call to action. Go to my Facebook group. If you're on a podcast, you will not do that. There is no call to action at the moment saying, look, go here and get my free, how to make sure that you 7x your productivity in a week, right? There's nothing like that. So I got to be more direct and say like, look, this is what I do. Here you can find it. If you like this, then make sure to get this. And that's where I got to be. I'm a little relaxed on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the biggest challenge that I have is I'm good. So it's like I'm kind of good. So meh, it's okay, right? And I have high goals, and because of COVID and everything is going on, I'm kind of like, I'm good, So let's just enjoy it while it's going well, instead of going like, no, I can take advantage of this and really push it if I'm more focused on certain things. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I bought a new course, Steve Larson, and that's all
Mm-hmm.
about launches. And then he shares all
Yeah.
about his podcast content and how he does it. And he's really strategic and focused. He's really good at marketing. So that's, yeah, together with my sales and marketing coach, we're putting that all together and coming out with some new launches before the end of the year to then go in strong into 2021.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at, for example, your biggest and darkest moment, what lesson did you learn from those?
Um, if you do something, make sure you do it with your complete heart. And if not, just get out before everything
Mm-hmm.
turns to
And that
crap.
takes into the next question. So, with all the things you know now, all the connection you know now, if you could go back, say, at the start of this business, or even if you would go back to where you were 18, what would you say to the 18-year-old Klaas?
Get a coach. That's
Yeah,
simple. Yeah, I had that
that's true.
question asked so many times, and the answer is very simple: just get a coach.
Mm-hmm. That is
That's
so
that's
true.
that's the key. Don't get a course. Get a one-on-one coach.
Yeah.
Stop buying courses. Just the courses are not going to help because you're still doing it yourself, and we just need to stop trying to do it ourselves. We need to find a coach that has a system that aligns with us,
Mm-hmm.
and then that keeps us accountable to make sure that we take all the steps to get us there. And after you got that all set up, then you're going to look at, okay, what specific course do I need? Not like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a great course, because the thing is like, oh, we it's not working. And then we get all these ads and stuff like that. And then, their marketing is phenomenal. So you're like, oh yeah, I gotta have this. And then before you know, you bought like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new courses. None of them get you any further, right? Because you're thinking way too far ahead. And instead of just looking like, okay, where am I at right now? And what is the next thing that I need right now? And for me, that's learning how to launch really well what I have. Um, and therefore I bought what I have, as everything else is set up. So that makes you go way faster than just trying to buy everything that you want, that you think that you need, instead of just focusing on what's the next thing.
Exactly. Focus on one thing, and as you said, focus on just the next step. Yes. A lot of time people need a coach, but also a cheerleader, because a lot of time we know what to do, but we just need someone to remind us of it. And just, for example, just the example you said of that person that was just at the fear of launching the course, you just needed someone like you to almost tell them, hey, if you don't do it, I'm going to kick you in the butt. And we need someone like that at time to just give
Yeah,
us
of
that
course.
little push, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
that's very important. Yeah. So was there ever a point in your current business, especially in the beginning when you're starting and it wasn't that easy to get to the client, that you were at that crossroads saying, hey, this is a do or die moment, or when you felt that, hey, am I in the right business? Was there any time a doubt in your mind that wondering, is this the right business for me to pursue, or maybe should I explore other avenues? And if yes, how did you overcome that?
Sure, all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
certain points you just push through, and at other points it's just like, okay, towel in the ring, and let's find something new. All right,
Mm-hmm.
you can't. At a certain point, you got to say like, look, it's not working, so it's time to find something
Yeah.
else, right? And that's what I did. However, it was always a shift into something new that tied in, right? So with Become a Fearless Father, for example, at a certain point, I was like, I'm not feeling it. And what I wasn't feeling was I didn't have that feminine energy around me, because I was only focused on men. And I started to notice that I like to connect with both. I like to have inputs from both. It's a lot more fun. And I shifted so that all the content, not that all the content stayed the same. However, the focus and all my teaching stayed the same. I just shifted from Become a Fearless Father to become the me I want to be, right? So sometimes while you grow, what mostly happens is like your audience just doesn't fit with what you have or with what you like to work with, or sometimes your message just attracts a different audience. While you were like, oh yeah, I need to focus on that. I want that audience, and then you get loud and people start to notice you, and all of a sudden you started recognizing like, wait a minute, I'm being more followed by women than by men. What I was focusing on. Maybe I need to shift, right? And then just shift, just make a nice change, make a launch out of that, and just continue to move forward. Um, it's always about learning. There's never a failure. I've lost a lot of money, and still it hasn't been a failure. It was all lessons that I need to learn to get
Absolutely.
me to where I am right now. It's just a matter of keep going. And there was a point that I even had to go back to a 9 to 5, and I
Mm-hmm.
accepted that as well. I just stayed a little bit too long in the 9 to 5. However, that those are lessons as well, and then you continue, you grow, you learn, you get new connections, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just as you said, it's all about being adaptable and just change. Because even for me, a lot of time happened that I thought I knew my audience, I thought I knew the right message, and then I'm an e-commerce guy, so I'm more like selling physical products. When I target specific people, I say maybe we have a pre-existing idea that who might be the right ideal customer. But then once you look at the data, you say, hey, wait a second, this is not the demography I was looking for. And that's why you find out that, hey, or maybe what the pain point that you thought was what was actually hooking them to get the product, and you realize, hey, that was not what they were actually looking for, something else. It's always the feedback we get directly from the marketplace. That's the most invaluable. And also one thing that I always emphasize is go with a blank slate with an open mind. Don't go with your own preconceived opinion, because my opinion, your opinion doesn't matter. The only opinion that matters is the opinion from the market, what they want to
Yep,
tell you.
absolutely.
So yeah, that's great. And I just had this call just before you with another person from the group. Jeff is an amazing. He has a baseball academy in the U.S.
Hmm.
Uh, Almost former professional baseball player. He was telling me the same thing, exactly the same thing. That a lot of time it's all about being adaptable, changing your message, and also just doing the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. Because if you follow the herd, then you're gonna go exactly where they are going, which is nowhere.
Hmm.
Make any changes, you have to see what's not. It's very important to know what to do, but it's equally also important to know what not to do. And that's
Absolutely.
what you see at the marketplace.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's great. So let me see. I have some great questions for you, but let's see. Okay. So was there ever so just what would you say to someone that's right now, say, at a do or die moment that they have to make whatever they're doing to work? What would you say to them?
You're in a good spot.
When you put your wall is against the back against the wall, yes,
That's
because
what that's what I teach, thanks to my coach, and he called it deaf ground. I use the same name. Is put yourself in a deaf ground position. That's why I just mentioned to you, right? It's like, what's your biggest challenge? Well, this is my biggest challenge. Why is it your biggest challenge? Well, because I'm good. I don't have my back against the wall, and I forgot to choose my own strategies for a while where I use deaf ground to place my back against the wall every single time. And by
Mhm.
doing so, I have no other choice. I got to be resourceful and make it work. It's do or die, or go back to something I don't want to do.
Mhm.
And if that's
That's
the worst is then going back to 9 to 5, then, you got to make it work. If the worst is like, if I don't have money and, I can't eat, you're going to make it work.
yeah.
So,
It's all about having perspective. Yeah, that's for sure. Um, if people want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
well, one, Klaas van Oosterhout on Facebook, and Become the Me I Want to Be podcast on iTunes and Spotify, everywhere else, I think. And also Become the Me I Want to Be, a group on Facebook. We're happy to welcome you there. I teach all the stuff about productivity and how to become the me I want to be. And we just have a ton of fun there. Plus all my live interviews that I do. Like, for example, I mentioned Alex Sharfin. I had John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire on last time. So
Nice.
I'm having really high-end guests on my show. And that's for my podcast. However, I go live in my group. So people that want to join, they get an opportunity to actually ask questions if they like. And if I see a good one, I always immediately use that. So that's the best place to find me, and become the me I want to be.com is the website.
It was just a personal question now for someone like me that's starting a podcast. What would be the advice you would give to be able to attract the bigger names?
Continue. Keep
Keep
going.
going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Keep going. Keep reaching out to them. Keep giving them value. Keep building that relationship. Don't do what I saw Sorry, I got to laugh because it was funny. And I'll share why. So I went into the ClickFunnels group where Alex Sharfin is, I thought really well known. He's from the ClickFunnels community as well. And I wrote like, hey, if you could ask Alex Sharfin one question, what would it be? And then one guy, somebody responded, and then one guy said to that, hey, Alex, you want to be on my show as well? Okay, that's not the way to do it, right? That is not the way. It took me over a year to get Alex Sharfin on. It took me over a year to get John Lee Dumas on.
Imagine.
Before that time, I interviewed 170 people live, right? So you just keep going. And what Steve Larson says is, where you at? And I agree with that. That's the way I did it. Where you at? Look 2 levels up and interview those people. Get those people on your
Yes.
show. And as soon as you get them on your show, don't go lower. So as soon as you hit one higher, like for me, for example, I had John Lee Dumas on the show now, Kiri Marie Moore. I had Alex Sharfin on the show. So now I go up, and those are the people now that I look for. I don't go down anymore. Just keep trying to go up until you reach that, and then use those people, right? And connect. What I did in the very, very beginning, and that worked very well. I stopped doing it because I've gone bigger, but in the very, very beginning, I started recording thank you videos for the people that wanted on my show. So I just 1-minute videos. I put my camera, and then I was like, hey, listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you did, especially when they've written a book, like Dean Graziosi and all those guys. They haven't been on my show yet, but I have those recordings because they're on YouTube. I left them all on YouTube. Like, for example, right? If I did this, like, hey, Russell Brunson, listen, thank you so much for everything that you do. I went through .com Secrets. I learned so much, especially in regards to, the soap opera sequence. I loved it. I learned this and this, and I implemented that. And listen, if you're interested, I really would love to have you on my show so I can pick your brain in regards to this book, and we can talk a little bit more about it, right? I would love to have you on my show. Just connect and reach out and let me know when's a good date and time for you, right? That's it. 1 minute.
That is pure gold. Pure gold. I will have to rewatch it myself and just transcribe that section. Absolutely amazing. So do you also send those thank you messages also to people that you just interviewed, or only people that you tried to reach out to?
I send this.
Beautiful.
Become to me. Oh, for the people, this podcast, of course. Sorry, I'm so used to doing things, interview lives, and people watching live. So this is a cup, right? It's a big cup. I drink my water in it. You can drink your tea, coffee, right? It has my logo on it, really small, and then it has a really nice picture on it. So I sent this as a gift to say thank you. However, before that, I used to send out a card. I actually have them right here. Very simple thank you cards that I made, right? When I was doing Become the Me I Want to Be. So that's me and my boys. Somebody made that for me.
Wow.
Right? Put a little thank you. And on the back, I just wrote. And then I put it in an envelope and I sent it to them, right? Just this, because nobody does that anymore. Nobody sends a thank you card, right?
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, this goes through a company, not through my own yet. So I can't put in a note yet. However, that's the next step. I will just order 20 of these, and then send them out myself afterwards, and then put in a note as well as a thank you, handwritten. Handwritten notes really work.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
If you start out, then handwritten notes are not that expensive. And it's a good, like anybody should be able to write like a handwritten note and send it, right? And I start off just this as a postcard. However, 30 to 40% got lost in the mail. So I stopped doing that, and then I start putting them in an envelope, and then only 10% got lost. And now I do it through the company, and I sent the mug, and nothing has lost. Everything arrived so far. So.
And on the mug, I saw a picture on the other side. Do you put for each person like a customized picture, or do you put?
No, it's all the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love those. Yeah, especially the personal touch, the very simple fact of receiving an old school, piece of mail in the mail, because as you said, no one does that. I can't recall the last time I received or I wrote myself an actual piece of correspondence. So that's golden. Yes. Exactly. That's amazing. Wow. Beautiful golden nuggets. Thank you. And so what would you, just one last question, what would you say to someone starting now and they need more clarity, they're not sure, they're looking at two different routes or options or business opportunities? What would you tell these people to choose on what do they need to do to choose one and just go with it?
All right. Yeah, that's a great question. So um, there's two things. Lack of clarity, like absolutely not knowing where you go. And I've sat there and it's horrible. It's the worst, right? So I learned this exercise from my very first coach. And you just sit somewhere quiet, like we're sitting right now, right? I just not as much light as I have right now. I would make it a little darker, a little bit more, and I just sit and just first start breathing in like really deep, just to calm yourself down completely, right? Maybe put like a really light, like there's these beta sounds movies or movies, no sounds, right? That you can put on that really help you relax, right? Or whatever helps you relax. If it's no music, it's no music. I never did with music.
Like
However,
meditation music.
I'm starting to experiment a little bit with it. There's certain sounds that you can use that really help you to put you in a state, right? And then all I used to do is just breathe in real deep, and at the end of the breath, ask the question. And that could be as simple as, okay, what's my next step? Because our unconscious mind knows already what we need to choose. We just got so much stuff in our minds that we just can't figure it out, what it is exactly that we need to do. That's how I became with the name Become a Fearless Father. It was through that. Just by relaxing, breathing, I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. Because at that point, I was lost, right? And then now, for example, when you say like, okay, I got two options, right? I got this option, I got that option. I feel like I'm both as excited. Now, I actually just last week was stuck with a decision like that. And I knew how to find the answer because I did that and I had the answer. And then my sales and marketing coach, he's like, all right, where are we stuck at? I said, look, I know the answer. However, let's do this anyway. He said, I got a real cool thing. So I have a coin. I have a $1 coin. And I grabbed it. And he said, all right, so it was in regards to the markets, right? So I want to go deeper and I want to really specific, like, okay, this is the market I'm going to go for. And it was either between relationships or wealth. And he's like, all right, so heads is wealth and tails is relationship. So whatever your decision is, one or two, right? Heads or tails. And I took the coin and I flipped it up. I grabbed it. I put it on my hand. And then he said, what comes up right now that you want it to be? And I go, wealth. And he goes, all right, that's your answer. I said, the coin, I'm not even going to look like there's, you really want to look, right? He's like, no, there's no need. It's not the coin. It's just, you flip it up, you grab it, boom. And immediately there's an answer coming up that you hope, that you wish that it's really is going to be. And that's the answer. Now I looked anyway, and it was heads also, which was wealth. So it was double.
So basically just following your instinct, your gut feeling, your sixth sense, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. We are so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. And we got to start listening to our heart instead of keep listening to our mind, because our mind has a big bear trap.
Oh, yeah. And we're only using, as you said, not even 5% of our mind, let alone the subconscious mind, which is a whole different ballgame, So, wow. Well, thank you very much. I really just myself personally will rewatch that again, because you've dropped some absolutely crazy golden nuggets.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for that, Klaas. And and once again, what's the name of your podcast? So I can put it in.
Become the Me I Want to Be.
Become the, okay, I see. Become the Me. Perfect. I'll put all that in the show notes. Thank you very much, Klaas. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and we'll keep in touch.
All right,
man. Pleasure. Take care. Have a great one. Cheers.
Bye-bye.